Hi there, welcome to this week's podcast episode, which is all about how to consistently convert from the consultation phase to the paying client phase. So this is going to be a particularly good one for you if you regularly have people in clinic or in your salon or wherever you operate from for consultations. You spend 20 to 30 minutes going through recommendations, everything that you would do when you do a consultation, and then at the end of it, there's no booking secured, or the person that's had the consultation says, okay, I'll go away and have a little think about it, and then all you hear from then on is crickets. So if this happens, it's human nature for you as a practitioner to think, my gosh, what went wrong? Didn't they like me? Didn't I explain something fully? Maybe they didn't like the results of other treatments that I've done in the past that I've showed them. And you just kind of left bewildered, scratching your head. So if this is something you're struggling with, let's dive straight in. So I can tell you now, from being in business for 15 years and being a nurse for 25 years, which is primarily just constant communication with people, that every human has basic needs, and this need transpires into your clinic and into the consultation process. Every human wants to feel seen, they want to feel understood, they want to feel heard, they want to know that they matter, and they want to know that they're important, because the consultation phase is purely about connection. People want to feel connection, and if you can invoke those feelings which I've just said and the feeling of connection, then that is how people become paying clients and regular clients that regularly sing your praises and refer you to other people. Now, this isn't about being inauthentic, it's anything but. It's about being the most authentic version of you and being fully you. So I'm guessing if you're a decent human, that you do genuinely care. You do want to make people feel understood. You want to make sure that people feel heard, and you want people to know that they matter and that they're important. And my advice would be, if you don't have these feelings inside and that genuinely isn't how you feel, then maybe the business world and being of service isn't the right thing for you. So what I see time and time again is when people panic and people aren't coming through the door, or people aren't becoming regular paying clients that love what you do and recommend you on, people fumble and they think, my gosh, I need to be providing more treatments, I need to showcase everything I can do, my injection technique isn't perfect, I need to buy the next latest machinery that's costing me hundreds of thousands of pounds. And it's like, no, it isn't about that. It's about simple human connection, because the world of business, the world of sales isn't sleazy. People have a problem and you're the expert that can help them to solve that problem. And it's about solving that problem in an authentic way, and in a way where you genuinely want to help and care, because people will always sense when somebody is being authentic. People will always sense when it's just about the money. If somebody comes in for a consultation and they don't feel comfortable to start with, they don't feel seen, they don't feel understood, they don't feel heard, then you will never ever make the sale. So what's the first steps that we can take in going about this? Well, if you've listened to the previous podcast episode, particularly in the beginning, way back in 2021, I can't reiterate enough again and again and again how important it is to know who you serve, because people come into aesthetics and they don't think about that. They think that we're all serving the same demographic, and we aren't. There is so many different demographics of people that seek out aesthetic treatments, and if you're speaking to everybody, you're literally speaking to nobody. So you need to know your ideal client inside and out on a psychological level and on an emotional level. And then every piece of marketing and marketing messaging that you put out there needs to always have that ideal customer in mind. You need to be hitting on their pain points, you need to be hitting on their fears, you need to be hitting on their barriers to purchase. And again, it's not about being sleazy or inauthentic, it's about letting them know that you're the right person for them and that you're aligned with them. So I'm going to give you a really good example. Last week I had a new lady come through the door at the end of the week, came for a consultation, and this lady had been sat on the sidelines for a long time considering aesthetic treatments, but unsure of where she should go. She knew that she needed help, or she felt that she needed help. She knew that safety was of the utmost importance. She knew that quality was of the utmost importance. She knew that in no way did she want to look overdone. In no way did she want anybody to be able to detect that she'd had anything done. She just wanted to look like she'd had a really good night's sleep and like she was really rested and really rejuvenated. This lady wasn't already signed up to my database, so she hadn't had 1 or 2 years of getting to know me, getting to know what I'm about. She had literally done all this just via local searches or Google searches and things like that. So she stumbled across my website. So your website is effectively your sales page. It's an opportunity for you to speak to your ideal client. It's an opportunity for you to align with their needs, their wants, their desires, but also to address their pain points, their worries, and their concerns, which might cause a barrier consultation. So as soon as she hit my website, she could see exactly who I was. So she could see how long I'd been in business for, how long I'd been a nurse for. So that instantly helped her to, okay, there's a degree of responsibility here. There's a degree of safety. Obviously, I'm answerable to a regulatory body, because that was important factors to her. But then we touch on the real stuff, the psychological stuff, the emotional stuff that's going on in somebody's mind. So on the website, this is where I address the desires. I'm the clinic for you if you are looking for help but are fearful of looking overdone or unlike yourself. I'm the clinic for you if you understand that safety, quality is important, and with this obviously comes a higher price point because I'm working with high quality materials. I'm the clinic for you if you love how you look. You don't want to look like anybody else. You would be mortified if you looked overdone or like another when you left clinic. And I'm the clinic for you if you've been thinking about treatments for a long time and really struggling where to go because of these factors. Then she could clearly see I'm not the clinic for you if you believe big, overdone and false is better. You buy into social media facial trends, quality and safety isn't important to you. So literally straight away there, we're aligning. And that's not just for her, that's for me, because I don't want to work with clients that aren't aligned with my ethos. That would be my biggest nightmare. So by being really, really clear on who I'm serving, I can more or less say 100% that I don't get any of those unaligned clients through the door. Everybody that comes through the door is perfectly aligned. Very, very occasionally, one might try and slip through the net. But I treat a lot of people, and I would say 100% of those people are perfectly aligned clients. And not just on the website. When you put any piece of marketing out, the messaging is always the same. My values, my ethos, what I'm about always comes through the marketing. So what would somebody do then? So she's touched on my website. She hasn't been on my database. So she hasn't been warmed up. She doesn't know what I'm about, for the last couple of years. So she will then go and look for reviews and testimonials. And this is where she might find other people of a similar nature. And by reading their reviews, that again is social proof that helps her to feel understood, seen and heard, and that people like her are coming to the clinic with the same worries and the same concerns. Because as I've said, the world of aesthetics or whatever business you're in the health and wellness sector, we're not all the same. We might be delivering a lot of the same treatments, but essentially we're all very different businesses treating very different demographics of people. And you only have to look on social media for that to be clearly highlighted. So what is different about you? Why, if everybody just looks the same and everybody's all about the same kind of thing, how do you stand out in a crowded market? So I want you to have a really, really good think about that. And I want you to go back to earlier episodes, especially the one on your ideal client and the exercises that I encourage you to do to discover that and really dig deep into the psyche of the person that you intend to treat. So we got to the point then where this lady felt reassured, she felt aligned, she felt like I was the right person. So she made that big brave leap of making that consultation. Now, I don't do free consultations because I value my time and I value the information and the advice that I'm giving to somebody. But what I do is if somebody decides then to go ahead with treatment, then the consultation cost comes off the cost of the treatment, which I think's fair, and everybody that walks through the door thinks is fair as well. So this lady came in for consultation. So this is when your job is to make somebody feel comfortable. And how do you make somebody feel comfortable? By being yourself and by being comfortable in your energy. Because again, people can sense when you're being inauthentic. People can sense when you're putting on an act. And many people believe that being professional is all about being quite stuffy and stiff upper lipped, when it's not that at all. You can be professional, but you can be relaxed. You can give the utmost beautiful treatments in a relaxed way. So when you feel relaxed and when you're being yourself and when you're being truly in your own authentic energy, they can sense that, and that person they can breathe out, they can relax, and they can begin to open up to you, and you will get more out of that consultation than you would get if somebody sat on the treatment couch, felt really uncomfortable, really nervous. You were being quite cold, quite unapproachable, but projecting what you think professional is. Now, of course, do not confuse this with unprofessionalism. I'm talking about you, your energy, being authentic, you being yourself, you feeling comfortable enough to be yourself, yet still professional, still educating, but forming that human connection so that person can sense that and they take a breath out and they can then have permission to be themselves. So I could literally see the energy change. I could see her relax, and she began to open up. She told me her concerns. I told me how I could help. And as we were talking and chatting, I knew straight away that she was my ideal client and that she was aligned. So I was able to tell her pain points more or less before she told me what they were, because I knew who she would be inside out. And it was all those points. It was all about safety concerns. It was all about quality. It was all about complications. It was all about looking overdone, unlike herself. She worked with younger girls who looked very overdone, and that wasn't what she was wanting. And I explained to her that that isn't who I treat. I said, not that there's, anything wrong with that. It's somebody else's demographic, but that isn't who I cater for. It's not who I serve. Instantly, she felt relaxed, and at the end, I never ever pressurised to book the treatment. I leave it quite open-ended, but they always say to me, no, I'm ready, I want to book. And it's literally as simple as that. So please don't get into the shiny object, looking outwards all the time, looking at what other people are doing on social media, what treatments they're offering. You probably heard me say this. I don't look at what anybody else is doing. In fact, if you look at accounts I follow, it's all to do with spirituality, it's all to do with yoga, it's funny things, it's things that are more my kind of hobbies and interests, because I know that if I start looking at what other people are doing, my energy isn't focused on me and the work that I want to do in the world, it's projecting outwards. And what a waste of energy that is, because all that happens is you get into comparison, you get into fear mode, and that is all the wrong energy that you want to be in. Now, it's different if you've got somebody that's more of a mentor or somebody that you find inspiring, somebody that helps you. That's completely different. That's a different kind of energy. But when you're just following all sorts of different accounts that are essentially in your line of work, you've got to be really careful, and you've got to be really mindful of watching your energy and watching where it's at, and always checking in with yourself and thinking, right, hang on a minute, am I in inspirational mode? Is this motivating me? Is this more the energy of love and expansion? Or am I dropping into that energy of fear, looking over my shoulder, worrying, feeling that I'm not good enough? Honestly, do not do it to yourself. It will hold you back in every way possible. All business is it's just human to human interaction, and it's all about connection. It's about knowing who you serve. It's about knowing how you're different in a market where there's so many people doing exactly the same thing. And it's about tailoring your message all the time to your ideal client. And honestly, 15 years in now, I always get aligned clients coming through the door. Whereas in the beginning, 15 years ago, it was just, I'm in the world of aesthetics. I need to offer every single treatment that's available in aesthetics. And I'll just take anybody that comes through the door. And aesthetics is aesthetics. It's all the same. It's so different for so many different people. And this applies to any health and wellness business. So I want you to really think about that human connection aspect. And I also want you to be brave enough to be yourself. Let your lovely, beautiful self shine through, shine your big radiant light out there, and the right people that are aligned with you will come forward. And those that it's triggering, that's their issue. They're not the right people for you. Just let them drop away and have fun whilst you're doing it. So I hope that's helped, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.